Good morning, Sudhakar. Audio is fine, Sudhakar. Try again. Audio is fine. Okay. So, meditate for some.
दिवा तपति रक्तिमा भाति चंद्रिमा तन्नद्धो कत्यो तपति ध्यायी तपति ब्राह्मणो अस्तबुद्धमहोरक्तिं बुद्धो तपति तेजसा।
ट्रांसलेशन कर दीजिए।
दिवा तपति अद्चु दिया
मतलब दिन को आदित्य सन, so the sun shines during the day.
दिवा भाति चंद्रिमा रात को चंद्रमा,
रात्रि मतलब रात, भाति चमकता है, चंदे हो तो चंद्र, so at night shines the moon.
सन्नद्धो कत्यो तपति,
खत्ती हो तो क्षत्रिय जो है सन्नद्ध हो तो उसके बाद अपने आर्मर्स होते हैं, ड्रेस पूरी ड्रेस पहन के और वो आर्म्स रखता है, then क्षत्रिय shines when he is armed.
ध्यायी तपति,
ध्यान में ध्यान करते हैं, so the Brahman shines when he is meditating.
अस्तबुद्धमहोरक्तिं बुद्धो तपति तेजसी।
अथ और सब्बम अहोरतिम, सब्ब मतलब हमेशा रात को और दिन को, बुद्धो तपति तेज, अपने तेज से जब बुद्ध है रात और दिन शाइन करते हैं, that's the statement. And during the day shines the sun, at night shines the moon. The Kshatriya shines an arm, the Brahman shines when meditating, and the Buddha shines all the day night with his radiance. The story is literally of the same kind. That once the king Prasannaji came to Buddha and he was dressed in all his royal clothes and all, looking very resplendent. And in the congregation there was one of the bhikshus who were also meditating deeply, and his body was also emitting light. And the sun was setting and the moon was just rising. So Ananda observed all this. He realized this fact that Buddha's radiance shines, is surpassing all of that. So he mentioned this to Buddha, and Buddha replied with this verse. आप पढ़ेंगे मुश्किल है
इंग्लिश बाहुबल पापोची ब्राह्मणों समचर्या समरोति
उच्यते
पवज्जा मनको मला
पवज्जायम अत्तनो मलं
तस्मा पवज्जितो
उच्यते. So he is defining various things. ब्राह्मण कौन है, शमन कौन है, प्रबज्य कौन है, डेफिनेशन. बहिता पापोति ब्राह्मण. बहिता मतलब दूर करता है पापों को, वो ब्राह्मण है. So that's why he is called a Brahmin, because he keeps things away. समनोति, समचर्या समनोति उच्चते. शमन कौन है? जो उसकी समन जो है समचर्या है, जो जीवन है उसका सेरेनिटी में रहता है, उसको शमन कहा गया. पवज्जायम अत्तानो मलम, जो अपने मल को प्रबद्ध करता है, दूर करता है. तस्मा पवज्जतो उच्यते. तो मॉन्क कौन है? जिसने जो अपने मल को दूर करता है उसको मॉन्क कहा जाता है. क्योंकि पवज्जा का दो अर्थ है. So he is using that fact to draw the attention. So the story is about a ascetic who came to Buddha and asked him if he could also be named a monk. So then Buddha replied this word, that in order to be called a monk, one has to discard all the evils and impurities. पवज्जायम अत्तनो. पवज्जा का दो मीनिंग है. पवज्जा मतलब छोड़ देता है. प्रोनाउंसिएशन भी उसी सेंस में कहा जाता है ना. तो जो अपने मन को छोड़ देता है, अपनी इम्प्योरिटी छोड़ देता है, रियल प्रबंध जिसने प्रबंधा ली हुई है, जो रिनाउंसिएट. These two verses are together with one story.
न ब्राह्मण
चैप्टर है ना ब्राह्मण. न ब्राह्मणस्य पहेरेया नास उच्चेत ब्राह्मणो
धी ब्राह्मणस्य
अंतरं
तातो धी यस्य मुच्यते.
नेक्स्ट कर दीजिए, साथ ही इसको काफी सिमिलर.
न ब्रह्ममानस्य
एतद् अकिंची से
यदा दिशेतु
मनसो येहि यतो
यतो हिं संभानो निवर्तति तत्तो समाप्तिमेव
दुःखम. न ब्राह्मणस्य पहारेया. पहाड़ मतलब प्रहार करना. किसी ब्राह्मण को प्रहार नहीं करना चाहिए, तो किसी ब्राह्मण के ऊपर प्रहार नहीं. नासमुंचेत ब्राह्मणों. और लेकिन जो ब्राह्मण है सच्चा, उसको गुस्सा भी नहीं करना चाहिए. मुंचेत इज यूज्ड हियर इन द सेंस ऑफ रिलीज, तो रिलीज द एंगर. So one should not strike a Brahmin, and the Brahmin should also not get angry with the person who strikes him. धी ब्राह्मणस्य हंतारम. जो ब्राह्मण को मारता है, शेम ऑन हिम. धी में शेम. ततो धी यस्य मुंचति. और उससे भी ज्यादा शेम उसको जो उस पे मारने वाले को गुस्सा करता है. ततो धी. मोर शेम टू दोज हु आर एंग्री विद देम. न ब्राह्मण से एतद अकिंच सेयो। तो ब्राह्मण के लिए ये अकिंच मतलब बहुत थोड़ा बेनिफिट नहीं है, श्रेय नहीं है क्या? यदा निषेधो मनसो किए, and he holds the mind back from pleasures, ये से उनको रोक के रखता है। यतो यतो हिंसमानो निवर्तति, whenever he turns away from हिंसा, किसी को हर्ट करने की इच्छा से जब वो अपने मन को रोकता है, ततो ततो सम्मतिरेण दुखम, तब तक उसका जो दुख है शांत हो जाता है, सेसेशन ऑफ इट्स सफरिंग। So this is the definition of Brahman, which is like stories of this interesting one. One Brahman thought कि सारे पिता को बहुत कहते हैं बहुत पेशेंस है, तो जरा देखो इसमें कितनी पेशेंस। See the dangers involved है। तो उसने कहा कि मैं इनको I'll provoke him to get angry. So when this Sariputta was armed round, he came and hit back on him. Sariputta did not even turn around and just continued to walk. The Brahman then felt very ashamed and begged him for his pardon. Then he invited Sariputta to his house. And when Buddha heard about it, then he recited these two verses about what a true Brahman is.
Okay. If somebody comes and slaps you, what would be the reaction?
सारी पुत्र ने तो पूछता है।
But sir, यहाँ पर it's
Getting into extreme.
conventional word one should respond to.
There is another similar story of a yaksha who coming and seeing कि ये अपने लोग बहुत इसकी प्रेस करते हैं, let me test. So hits him on his head. And yaksh की जो hit होगा, you can imagine. So Moggulana is also going behind and he sees the yaksha hitting him. And then he asks him, तुम ठीक तो हो? And he said, मैं थोड़ा दर्द सा हो रहा है. So he praises him to be, उस यक्ष ने आपको मारा, जो अगर पहाड़ को मारे तो पहाड़ टूट जाएगा. So that is his power. Then Hariputta says him, see your power, मैंने देखा ही नहीं उसको, you saw him also. So that shows the kind of, because of friendship of them, they see that. So he didn't kind of use his psychic powers for Anisa's purpose, unlike Moggulana who had even more psychic powers. Right. So we'll continue with this chapter. Inner purpose.
Presentation. इसके अलावा
आप ये करें, मेरे पास तो ओरिजिनल मटीरियल मेरे पास तो बुक है यहाँ पे.
इस समय इधर ही आया
हाँ ऐसे करता
So we are at chapter 9, and the chapter 9 is inner purpose, and the author starts with saying that your inner purpose is to awaken, and the author gives a definition explains the awakening as a shift in consciousness in which consciousness is separated from the thinking. And then there is dialogue of question and answers, which is a question which is put forward, and then the Ekath answers those question, and the answers that coming out of the dialogue is that one needs to be when one is present in the current moment, and that's the awakening one has. And that is a primary purpose for which uh, uh, that is the one's primary purpose, being present in the current moment. As the author mentions that through the present moment you have access to the powers of life itself, which we traditionally call God. And he gives a example of a sapling which grows, which comes out of the soil and grows. And he says that sapling itself is not separate from the life and wants nothing from itself, and it's one with what life wants. It isn't worried or stressed, and even if it dies prematurely, it dies with ease. And then this is we discussed the notion of success. I'll just continue. We stopped on this slide, and I'll continue. So the question put forward is that is a notion of success an illusion, or how do we measure the success? And the message which comes out of the discussion is that the conventional notion of success is that we want to achieve something, or we have some targets and a goal in future, and the author tries to negate that and says that don't let the conventional world tell you that what success is, and success is nothing but being successful at the present moment. And then he further defines is that the sense of quality in which you do even the most simplest action, and the quality implies the care and attention which comes with awareness, and the quality requires your presence. And I think that's the message which has been coming out in this chapter, is that your presence and complete presence in the present moment. And the unconscious assumption behind all such actions is that success is a future event, and that the need justifies the means. But the end and the means are the one, and if the means did not contribute to human happiness, neither will the end. And so this is, we can validate in our lives also, that we always, sometimes, most of the times we set a future goal and we put all our energy towards that, but we are not enjoying the day-to-day part of it. And even if at the end, when the goal is achieved, there is no happiness there. And at least when I was a kid, I don't know, most of the kids have this, that they want to grow quickly, and when they are in college, they want to finish the college quickly and do the job. And somehow there is always looking forward in life. But there is one difference. What happens is that at least the childhood and the college time is spent with a lot of happiness and joy also. So, but possibly in the as one gets older, he doesn't see any joy in future attainment. I think, and when you then read it, at least you can validate it more beautifully.
But
Last paragraph for me, I think needs more clarification. So I always thought that when you lose yourself in whatever you do, yeah. So actually, you should go happy, but the last one actually is explained in the next slide. So we can, but you were saying that.
तुम्हारा कॉलेज वाला क्या सब क्या है? Is it because generally the you're enjoying those present moments more
Yeah. Yes.
than
My understanding, I and my friend were discussing, and what we both agreed was that if you start discussing, you will vividly remember all your college life and experience, and you can say कि हम ये करते थे, हम वो करते थे. And then why is that? Why is that now the time passes so quickly and you don't remember what are you doing? And one thing which came was there was a sense of happiness at that time. There was less worry. There were some goals one had made, but he was not that much into those goals. He wasn't present, spending time with friends.
so is that the only thing that because that is generally people remember their or relate their childhood or early life to more happy moments than in their life.
Relatively speaking, they are more present. Relatively speaking, I think so. Because, or I would say, relatively speaking, they are less worried about future. That is what I would say. Yeah. You will not be truly present. They are less worried about future. Relatively speaking. The moment you start getting into third years, some worries start coming. Then withdraw from all other activities. Only cat remains. Isn't it? So then the worries start coming. Child is no worry. And small child till exams start in school, parents are worrying.
But we teach that to be worried.
Worried.
We can't teach.
सर वो जो आपने
बेटा करो
आपने वो देखी थी मैंने जो उसमें डाली थी
आई डोंट व्हाट्स वीडियो पोस्ट करा था
एनिमल
सर ने पोस्ट करा था एक वीडियो
बिकॉज़
मेरे फेसबुक पे पोस्ट करा
अपने पब्लिक
उसमें वो यही था कि
बच्चे का हम क्या हाल करते हैं It's very beautiful, very wonderful. We don't say to the child, welcome to the human race. And then tell him, okay, these are the rules for starting, then you discover your flower in that tree. Get him into the same rut again and then create problems.
Sudhakar, sorry, Silesh has a question. Success includes present moment plus conventional success. Any thoughts?
Yeah. For conventional beings, it is true, certainly. What is, I think, pointing out is that if you are, if you use the word successful in the present moment, the possibility of success in future is also more. I think that is an implicit assumption. Which is usually true. If you are mindful while doing things, you certainly do it better than when you are not.
I was thinking about this last time on the inner purpose or outer purpose. I was contemplating more that. And I felt that somehow I could relate to this religion and Bala. what generally happens is that our primary purpose generally is to uh, act in the current moment so that we can be happy in future. That is generally the way we operate. And if you ask somebody what is your primary purpose, you will say a lot of things that I want to do this, I want to do this, but the primary purpose is that I want to focus on my action so that I can be happy in future. I think what he is saying is the reverse. If you,
If you are
you
happy
say
in the
that,
present time, you will be happy in the future also.
and I think what he's saying is your primary purpose should be in the
Present.
present moment,
Yeah.
accept the present moment as is, because that is where the happiness is. And then the secondary purpose is to do an action which is appropriate to be done in the present moment.
Right. So, few slides away, or I don't know, in the book there was this uh, writing that once you are intensely present in the present moment, then whatever action has to happen, whatever you have to respond to situation, it will happen. It's not that you are trying to do something
Yeah.
in that moment.
But I was thinking about this more that intensely present moment that is only true. But what about the other one that where you are not? Then I was thinking that if we even if we just switch these two purposes and say my primary purpose is to be accept the way things are, be in the present. And the secondary purpose is to do my duty. Then then things started to at least uh, come to terms that you know, because if you say that if your primary purpose is to be happy in the current moment, then you can go in the slippery slope of let me
Yeah, but
not.
what is the, why is duty coming in?
I'll tell you because this in the intensely present moments, the natural action will come, but in there could be instances of the slippery slope where you'll say your primary purpose is to be happy in the current moment. So let's not worry about the future at all. And you may get into the other extreme where you'll say you will stop doing any actions or you could go into say LSD kind of a route where you say that gives me the happiest moments now. So why should I prepare? Why should I do actions? So then that is where I said that the primary purpose to be is to accept the things the way they are, and the secondary purpose, the outer purpose is in this moment what are the beautiful things that you need to do, whether it's towards your family or your job or whatever the conventional world you live in. You know, do them because in this body and form, in this role, you are supposed to do those. You should do those rather than doing something for success in future.
That's right.
So,
This is what he's saying. So, if it's mentioned, I don't know whether it's mentioned here or not in the talk in which this is based. It's mentioned. The secondary purpose you all know. So let us discuss first primary purpose.
you know what needs to be done
Yeah.
in this situation or that situation.
वो सर टेलिंग कि अभी तुम यहाँ हॉल में बैठे हो ना, तो अभी क्या पर्पज है ये तो निकलो। यहाँ बैठ के वो सोचो कि मेरी जो प्रेजेंटेशन होनी है कल मेरी, तो फिर गड़बड़ है।
So, one more thing I wanted to tell was that long time back I had read Vivekananda, and in the English volume 2 first chapter, the title of the chapter was Work and His Secret, and there also Vivekananda mentions about this means and the end. And what Vivekananda mentioned is that in most of our life, we set an end, we set a goal that we want to achieve something, and then when we have a failure, and when we analyze ourselves, we will find that we had a goal, we had an end in mind, but we never had means to do that goal. And he says that he said that once you have chosen the end, you can let go of the end and strengthen your means. Once the means are proper, the goal will be achieved. And he never mentioned particularly that means uh, rep- represent the present moment, but listening to these words and those words, I can correlate that those words also beautifully fit for the present moment.
There is a subtle in the practice of it. In theory, it is perfectly fine. The means may be wholesome, but one may not be present. So there is a subtlety involved in this issue of being present. Because if you are really present, then the doership will not be there. Otherwise, doership remains and you keep on doing yes, I'm doing well, I'm doing well. So that notion of doership will keep on remaining. So this issue of presence is of help in that, I think. Because when you are present, then you think, हो रहा है, things are happening, what you are not doing. मैं पिछले कुछ दिनों से एलन वाट्स के कुछ डिस्कोर्सेस सुन रहा हूँ, बहुत पावरफुल डिस्कोर्स।
हम लोग काफी डिस्कस किया था एलन वाट्स का।
मैंने बहुत साल पहले इस बुक पढ़ी थी, विजडम ऑफ इनसिक्योरिटी, सच ए पावरफुल बुक. Really, his insight into it is. I mean, he's the first person to have brought Zen and Buddhism into America, and his insight is more powerful than many meditation teachers.
He puts it in a very contemporary and lot more impactful manner than we have heard many teachers do.
And his insight is always into the understanding of the self. Without that, you will never be able to get into it. You will always remain in this periphery. This issue of, for example, attainment and success in being present. He gave a beautiful example yesterday. I was listening. The life should be like music. What is the objective of music? To reach the end of the beats at the earliest. And he says, then the one who does it fastest will be the best. ऐसा तो नहीं है ना. What is the idea of dance? Is it to reach somewhere on the floor quickly? Dance itself is the idea. Music itself is the idea. So he explains that in such ways, you can figure out, ऐसा ही है. So the issue of being present and that the journey itself is the goal. And that point which Srimati also mentions is quite counterintuitive. It's very counterintuitive, not easy to get at.
Most of the time, whenever we start to contemplate that, the other side always comes, which is the conventional planning and conventional success, conventional planning. The question always comes, for example, same as Silesh was saying. Does that mean that we don't plan for future? Does that mean we don't strive for the conventional success?
It's not the case. Then the further subdivision will depend on the stage of life and what exactly are you a layman or not a layman. Those kind of things will then come into. So the duties, so to say, samma ajivo for a layman is different than from a householder, from a monk. So we have with the Eightfold Path, one of the limbs is Samba Ajiva. So one has to look after that. Right? But it is different. If it is you are a monk, then Samba Ajiva means something else. If you are not a monk, it means something else. So if you look at it in that sense, then it becomes quite clear. Samma Sati and Samma both go hand in hand. So all the 8 limbs should be together, then they will work properly. If you stress on anything and leave aside other, imbalance will take place and then there will be conflict.
So one thing more which I have seen is that the situation demands some planning. One does a planning and makes a course that we'll do this and do this, and then one can follow that in day-to-day life. But many times what I have seen is that, at least in myself, uh, there is a lot of anxiety and there is a lot of uncertainty about the future, and that grabs you so strongly that you don't want to leave it and you want to remain in that thinking mode, planning mode, worry mode. I think that's where the trap happens. That duties of planning have their role, but being present is another thing.
The resistance that we see in the present.
That is basically because of ignorance. Attachment to 5 khandhas. So we can investigate which of the khandhas is holding me back. You can use that to investigate.
And this was explained very beautifully by something we put it wrote into the lack in the present.
David Lloyd.
David Lloyd, right?
The sense of lack we feel all the time. Statement आप कह रहे थे ना, I think that last line, when he says you are present, you lose yourself in whatever you do. You also lose yourself in thinking. So here the implication is that you are being mindless, not egoless. When you say you lose yourself and you get intensely involved in the job, then you are not taking things personally. Here you are not mindful of what is going on. So there's a slight difference. Normally, when you say lose yourself in the work, it is seen as a positive thing. In that sense that you're not constantly evaluating, like, अच्छा हो रहा है कि बुरा हो रहा है, मुझे कुछ मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा. In that sense of self. And that's a
What is meant to lose yourself means lose your presence.
yeah.
The sense of awareness, you lose your sense of awareness.
शब्दों की kind of words have a that you're not no longer present to the what's going on.
Actually, next slide actually
That's
already.
the next one.
इसमें भी इसी को आगे explain करता है कि what exactly do you mean when you say you lose yourself?
It's talking of being identified with thinking actually, not in the present moment. Working intensely without worrying about what is going to be the outcome. It's perfectly fine.
And actually, he's also mentioning this. Every thought, every desire or fear, every action or reaction is then infused with a false sense of self that is incapable of sensing the simple joy of being. So seeks pleasure and sometimes even pain as substitutes for it. So, is losing yourself in action equally bad as losing yourself in thought? So I thought losing yourself meant losing yourself in thoughts and reaction. So can you re-explain? I think so. So what is a workaholic? Is he very mindful or is he having a substituted thoughts and action?
As is to be.
Yeah.
मतलब अपनी रहती रिएक्शन अपने आप थोड़ा नहीं होगा ना,
कंसंट्रेशन तो रहना चाहिए। वो कह रहे थे वर्कaholic तो एकदम रात दिन काम ही करते रहते हैं, वो क्या सचमुच में मुक्त है क्या?
So one question workaholic needs to answer is that is he avoiding some of the situation to become a workaholic?
Usually that is the problem.
that is
Usually reason is this, that you want to avoid unpleasantness somewhere else. उसमें वो सम्मा आजीव वाली बात छूट जाती है. It's not a balance in the life. When you are at the back of your mind, you have a feeling कि वहाँ नहीं जाना, यहीं बैठे रहो. So there is that implicit thought going on periodically in the mind. So then you are not really fully present there. But when you, for example, you are engaged in an activity without any worry, without any anxiety, creative activity especially people are engaged in, then they are perfectly fine. In the sense that there is no sense of I who is doing, things are happening. And there was a film which I had shown in some class. तो ट्राइसाइकिल मैगजीन में ना एक फिल्म की आती है हर महीने. वन ऑफ द फिल्म्स वाज ऑन द फिलॉसफी ऑफ हाइडेगर. He talks about work being important and how you can use work for evolution. That is work in which a person is totally engaged. Then it becomes like जैसे कहा जाता है work is worship, that kind of a thing. He uses work as a means of knowledge rather than knowledge as a means of work. तो उसके ऊपर काफ़ी डिस्कशन, लोग फिलोसफी पे फिल्म बनाई गई थी, बहुत ही बढ़िया, काफ़ी थॉट प्रोवोकिंग. They had shown one cook in America, lady, then one Spanish folk singer, one Japanese carpenter, one young jazz player, and then trace their life and see how do they play and when do they play and what is their feeling about what is going on. All of them say things are happening, we don't know what's going on. I am not doing it. So they're totally in a different world, totally absorbed in that moment of music or folk singing or carpenter in this. तो कारपेंटर की वाइफ से कहते हैं कि ये जो है ना इतना अच्छा कारपेंटर है कि 7 साल में मकान बनाता है, लोग 2 साल में बना देते हैं, और कई बार हमारे को अपनी जेब में खर्च करना पड़ता है. तो मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगता है ना, अच्छा मकान बनाना. It's so perfectly, continuously, looking at that piece of wood also, he looks at in a different way. He looks at the trees in a different way. He says, ये tree अच्छा नहीं, इससे लकड़ी अच्छी है, इसके अच्छी है. कैसे पता? I get a feel that. Basically, he's such a one-to-one relationship with the nature, and then his work is obviously absolutely perfect. Best carpenter in Japan. वहाँ पे शायद वो लकड़ी के पूरे घर बनाते हैं, तो सालों में घर बनाता है. तो obviously must be getting good remuneration for it. It says कि वो जैसे the way he was, इसको scrape करते हैं ना, the way he was scraping that and looking at the scrapes arising, it's like a dance happening of the wood. Such an amazing thing that a person is doing things so mindfully, aware of what I am doing, looking at everything, even the scrape of the wood which is coming out, even that he is looking to what he has to come in this particular manner. And he knows, therefore the rest will automatically follow. So I found that as a very good illustration of working with mindfully. And it automatically leads to actions which are on that. जो that lady, जो old lady थी वहाँ पे किसी kind of open food joint जैसे होते हैं ना अमेरिका में, उसमें वो काम करती थी. And then there was that hurricane in which उस city में शायद सारे ही बहुत लोग मर गए. So she gave food free. She prepared food and gave free for month. There is this joy in making food. What is the problem? They don't have so long. So you can see the mindfulness automatically leading to association with the other person, with his nature, and identifying that sense of separation reducing. In all the cases this was depicted, all these diverse cases of activity. So you then slowly begin to see things are happening rather than I am doing. So that's the way mindfulness should lead to. Yavdev jnanamatta satimatta. So that can do through action done in that manner also. Is only sati and only knowledge.
That is also losing yourself.
Yeah, it's there's no self to be lost.
But there is a self that we feel that we have a self that
we, that is a biggest problem to वहीं पे जाके problem आ रहा है. Yesterday in IIT also we read the WhatsApp interest house में undivided mind जो था ना, we read that.
What is the article there?
जिन्होंने दिया था ना article tricycle.
This is the start of the what is the journey.
How beautiful it is. So that's they are all pointing out to one certain thing which cannot be put in words so easily. But you can you have moments when you can experience that. Be mindful of what you are doing and not evaluating, worrying. That's why children आप लोग जैसे आप कह रहे थे ना बच्चों के साथ यही तो खास बात है ना छोटे बच्चों के साथ एक टॉय जैसे वाहियात सा टॉय है उसको पुट करे जा रहे हैं. They have not to achieve anything out of it. Just the doing of it is the pleasure of it. You have no idea कि इसको खोल के जोड़ना, खोल दिया फिर जोड़ दिया, जुड़ गया तो ठीक है, नहीं जुड़ा तो ठीक है, हमारी प्रॉब्लम है, अब आप करो इसको इकट्ठा. So reacting to what happens is a problem.
So the next is, how do I go from realizing what my inner purpose is to finding out what I am supposed to do at the outer level?
Rajesh had foreseen it.
Well, I think the answer is still the same. That before you discover what is right for you on the external level, before you discover what works, what is compatible with the awakening consciousness, you may have to find out what is not right, what no longer works, what is incompatible with your inner purpose. So again, the focus is more to find out what your inner purpose is or what is not compatible with your inner purpose. There may be a period of insecurity and uncertainty. What should I do? As the ego is no longer running your life, the psychological need for external security, which is illusionary anyway, lessens. You are unable to live with you are able to live with uncertainty, even enjoy it. When you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. It means fear is no longer a dominant factor in what you do and no longer prevents you from taking action to initiate change. And somehow I think it's perfectly fine. Most of the time we are worried, we have this fear of unknown.
That is the real biggest problem is that.
They're not known, fear of known. तो पता है कि कहीं ऐसा ना हो जाए.
हो सकता है, possibility है.
उसकी चिंता होती रहती है, ऐसा ना हो जाए. For example, most of the fear of known things that we go through in offices, कि आपको 2 महीने बाद आपका रिलीज है, तो बस रह ना जाए. कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि रिलीज टाइम आ गया और अभी फिर से वक्त पड़े हुए हैं. That's a known fear. We know कि ये possibility है और उसी की चिंता लगी रहती है.
And The next thing the author says that not everybody whosoever will go through drastic change in their external circumstances. At one end of the spectrum, you have people who stay exactly what they are and keep doing what they are doing. For them, only the how changes, not the what. That is due to that is not due to fear or inertia. What they are doing already is perfect vehicle for consciousness to come into world, and it needs no other. They to bring into the manifestation the new earth.
This implies, at least from ethics, the way it was, there are some things in externally that are in alignment with your internal purpose. But what we've been also studying about that whatever you do, if you're present, uh, then you can be, then that can happen not from the ego or personality.
Sometimes we do things out of ego, no? And then we say, नहीं इसको तो हमको वो करना चाहिए. I should be present. No, I should keep on doing it. That's a big catch. थोड़ा वो मुश्किल होता है बहुत पता कर पाना. If you become silent and reflect deeply, पता चल जाता है कि ये काम तो मुझे करने की जरूरत नहीं है. क्यों करे जा रहा है? सिर्फ इसलिए कि इससे मेरी इमेज अच्छी हो जाएगी, मेरे को कुछ respect मिल जाएगी. It's not needed for my survival, or I mean, what is needed for survival has to be done, obviously, for my and those who are dependent on me. For me, at this age, nothing needs to be done. Nobody is dependent on me. Yet I keep on doing so many things.
मैम कह रही हाँ बिल्कुल सही है. अभी भी इतना बिजी है रिटायरमेंट के बाद भी.
वो तो मैं I do it out of sheer joy. So there's no issue at all now. So I find that sometimes you have to do things out of compulsion, then that irritation begins to happen. अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, ये करना पड़ रहा है, ये करना. यहाँ जाना था, यहाँ नहीं जा पा रहे, ये हो गया, ऐसा हो गया.
तो अपनी मर्जी से करते हैं ना, फिर उससे डिफरेंट आएगा. नेचुरली उसमें तो कोई अगर नहीं मानोगा तो विपरीत परिस्थिति तो आएगी.
होती है, सब में होती. Then you become aware. हाँ देखो, this is what is happening. So that inner alignment की बात है, उसमें है कुछ दम है उसमें. क्योंकि जब ऐसे MIT में थे, doing many things, and I find many people doing many things which they don't want to do, and they have the freedom to give it up, but they don't want to give it up because it keeps a sense of importance alive. It keeps a kind of, it gives you a prop to your ego.
पहचान बनाते हैं.
मैं सीनियर आदमी हूँ कि मुझे ऐसे काम करने चाहिए, बड़े बड़े छोटे छोटे क्या करना है. So and then you realize it useless है यार. Nothing is coming out of that. Nobody is benefiting from it. Still you are holding on to that. You are not having courage to tell people. मतलब नहीं है यार. So that people are, you still have lots of responsibilities. So naturally those things have to be done. You can't say कि मुझे बच्चे के लिए केयर करना अच्छा नहीं लगता. That question doesn't arise. But I'm sure if you reflect deeply, you will also find that you are doing some things which can easily be shut off.
Do lot.
And which are being done just for the heck of it, just for the habit, out of habit, or out of a false sense of prestige. All sorry subtlety when you begin to investigate, deeper level, so many things keep on doing, which in saner moments you question it, but then suddenly some fear, some this, some that will come up. वो क्या कहेगा, यही आ जाएगा और कुछ नहीं. तो and then we get trapped again. And again the question is silenced and just keep on doing that. Very tricky stuff. Next question is again very important, interesting.
The question is, if fulfilling your inner purpose is being at one with present moment, why should anybody feel the need to remove themselves from their current work or living situation? The answer which comes out is, being at one with what is doesn't mean that you no longer initiate change or become incapable of taking action. But the motivation to take action comes from a deeper level, not from the egoic wanting or fearing.
That is the real difference. Comes from a alignment with the nature.
Inner alignment with present moment opens your consciousness and brings it into alignment with the whole, of which the present moment is an integral part. The whole, the totality of life, then acts through.
W हटा दिया? So it becomes an interesting change.
Yeah.
The whole is a whole actually. The whole is emptiness. Perfect. Perfect. Inadvertently you have said the truth.
It's
Black hole is complete.
So next is, what do you mean by whole? All things in existence, from microbes to human beings to galaxies, are not really separate things or entities, but form a part of a web of interconnected multidimensional process. One is perception, which reduces reality to what is accessible to us through a small range of our senses. What we can see, hear, smell, taste, touch. But when we perceive without interpreting or mental labeling, which means without adding thought to our perceptions, we can actually still sense the deeper connectedness underneath our perception of seemingly separate things. And in this section, there was this example given that when this big tsunami happened a few years back in Kerala and in other countries, the author said that not even one animal died. Not even one animal died. Yeah, that's what mentioned. And he said why that happened was that
They had a premonition. They can sense it. So पहले ही कुछ है, most of them. And fish died. See,
There is nothing for that.
they were thrown. They were thrown out and died. But most of the animals in Andaman and everywhere, उनको पहले ही आइडिया हो गया था कि कुछ गड़बड़ हो गई वो कुछ
And then the author uses this example to show the disconnectedness with the whole that we humans have come, because our perceptions of senses become so strong that deeper connectedness is not realized.
This issue of interconnectedness is very, I mean, वो इतना ही difficult है जितना कि आई को recognize करना काफी, I mean, theoretically we understand, but to put it into practice is really tough. That needs work on the mind.
But so, do we need to do anything to realize that, or just
I begin to think that some amount of repeated reflection is important. Otherwise, it होगा नहीं. Without reflection on it, for example, the fact that the body does not belong to me, हम बड़े आराम से कह देते हैं. but it's not getting ingrained deeply because we are not reminding ourselves frequently about this fact and investigating with it. So, मैं तो Tibetan tradition की बुक पढ़ रहा था तो he pointed out that this is the reason that in spite of the fact that you understand it thoroughly, because you don't reflect on it. And you don't, in your deep contemplation, we call it contemplative meditation. That unless that contemplative meditation phase is gone, you cannot be at peace. Then you give it up contemplation. Because the body's attachment to body is so strong, attachment to thoughts is so how many times we have discussed this issue? Life and others are not me. How many times we discussed that there? Still, there is that grasping of it. So that will loosen only when we repeatedly reflect and see, understand. No, this is not me. This way, that way, this way, that way. Then the hold of it will reduce, and then you can really have come to equilibrium with it. क्योंकि हम लोग को यही रहा है unless we, how would we even understand that ego is an illusion unless we deny it? Ego arises and we deny its existence. We say, no, this is not true. This is just a thought. Whichever. But the whole issue is that we have to see through the insubstantiality of self. Insubstantial, whenever it arises. Or whenever it manifests, how does it arise? It manifests through attachment to various skandhas. मेरा शरीर है, खराब हो रहा है, बीमार हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है, मेरे विचार हैं, मेरी इच्छाएं पूरी नहीं हो रही.
And also the contemplation works very better in the day-to-day life, those events when you're.
It works in day-to-day life and even in meditation, periodically, when we are settled down and peaceful, it helps to see that things are happening themselves. I am not doing it. There is no doer. That issue has to be kind of, अलग से ब्रेन में सर्किट बनाने की जरूरत है उस तरह का नहीं तो बार बार उधर ही चला जाता है उसी सर्किट में. So the neuroscientists are right in that. अलग से सर्किट बनाने की जरूरत है. वो अंदर बाहर से कोई शॉप में नहीं बन सकता, तुमको ही बनाना है. So the neurons are firing in this particular direction. You want them to go this direction. So you have to very peacefully, kindly बताना भाई ये भी रास्ता है, इधर मत चल. That is, I think, I'm beginning to get convinced that is the reason that it is it's become talking more and not getting internalized. That they're not reflecting on it as often. Whenever we grasp something, immediately reflect. This वो शिक्षा है ना, सर्वे धर्मो नालम अभिनिवेश मिक्स जो अजान बदलदास वगैरह करते हैं. Whatsoever arises in your experience, know it that it is not me, not mine, not myself. It is too done. It's not like that हम intellectually जान रहे हैं, हमें तो मालूम है नहीं. It is not going to do it. Whenever it arises, no, it's not me, it's a thought, just a thought. Whenever the thought arises, body is getting into trouble, thought, not my body. That way, repeatedly we remind ourselves. Whenever we get carried away by our perceptions, we remind ourselves. It's just a thought. There's no reality in it.
जैसे हम कहते हैं ना हमारे पुराने जन्म में जो संस्कार होते हैं इस जन्म में जो जीवित रहे हैं जो भी करना चाहिए यदि पुराने जन्म पे आ रहे हैं
ऐसे ही हम ठीक
मतलब मैंने
हाँ तो विचार उठ रहे हैं, हम उसको देख रहे हैं. ये मेरा नहीं, मैं नहीं, ये मैंने इसको पकड़ लिया अपना मान के, इसीलिए मेरे पीछे पड़ गए। उनको मैंने अपना मान लिया है, अपनी वीकनेस मान ली, अपने संस्कार मान लिए, अपने अच्छे संस्कार या बुरे संस्कार अपने मान लिए। वो अपना मानना ही मेरे को वो उसी चक्कर में घुमाया जा रहा है। तो तुम्हारा है तो संभालो इसको। अपने पास रखे। हाँ, पुराने जन्म की कर्म मतलब इग्नोरेंस है। जो हमारे कर्म हैं वो इग्नोरेंस के कारण तो कर्म बन रहे हैं। अगर हमें अहम का भाव ना हो कर्म बनेगा ही नहीं। आप कर्म करेंगे, कर्म बनेगा। वो कबीर का वो है ना, सारे कर्म हमने किए, हम कर्म से न्यारे। इज दैट पैराडॉक्स। तो अभी धम्मा में इसको बड़ा अच्छी तरह से एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ कि कॉन्शियसनेस ऐसी भी हो सकती है, फंक्शनल कॉन्शियसनेस। वी कॉल इट फंक्शनल कॉन्शियसनेस, बट और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आवर कॉन्शियसनेस इज आइदर होलसम और अनहोलसम, क्योंकि दोनों ही आपको बांध के रखेंगे। एंड द होलसम नंबर ऑफ होलसम कॉन्शियसनेस इज मच मोर। Generosity, kindness, compassion, these things, those are all wholesome consciousness. We call that, we उनको beautiful कहते हैं, beautiful consciousness. And they are also going to trap you in the same thing because we are taking them personally. वो बात समझना बड़ा अजीब लगता है। अब समझ तो आ गई बुद्धि को, लेकिन अब उसको you have to really see through that. Every moment it arises, every moment. That's why we need for being present.
Especially in those moments when it arises.
Yeah.
So to continue, the author says that it is when we are trapped in the incessant streams of compulsive thinking that the universe really disintegrates from us and we lose the ability to sense the interconnectedness of all that exists. Thinking cuts thinking cuts reality up into lifeless fragments. Extremely unintelligent and destructive action arises out of a fragmented view of reality. When you become aligned with the whole, you become a conscious part of the interconnectedness of the whole and its purpose, the emergence of consciousness into this world. This is the last slide. Can the whole use the human mind to create things or bring about situations that are in alignment with its purpose? And the answer is yes. Whenever there is inspiration, which translates as in spirit and enthusiasm, which means in God, there is creative empowerment that goes far beyond what a mere person is capable of.
Most creative things happen in that. There is no possibility of otherwise. Otherwise, so फिर आप out of thinking you can only produce क्या कहूँ, so-called popular stories and things of that kind. Not really creative activity. Effort goes into creativity, then it gets. You can use effort to polish the things. Real creative endeavor will be not done by a person.
Because when we deal with a lot of creative people, the products that we work on are materials we use for designers, and initially when we used to go to them as customer visits, especially for us in the technology industry, it was, and for me especially, it was very, it comes out very clearly in every visit that they talk of inspiration, almost every time. We are going to them with a tool, right? What can we help you? And then they start, I need to get inspired from this, I need to get inspired from that. Whenever I'm getting, thinking about this, the tool comes in my way. And you have to think structuredly in that tool, right? So inspiration is so crucial and so core to their work that and the free time and the silent time is very important for them. They say that we bring all pictures and everything on a single board. All the things that they want to think about, and then just stand in front of it. And this is we want to get inspired. क्या करें इसमें? We are like technical people and say सोच लो क्या करें इसमें खड़े होकर देखने वाली क्या बात है?
Correct. I think that's actually part and parcel of our job, that we think that thinking से हम कोडिंग करते हैं या थिंकिंग से ही चीजें सोचते हैं.
कोडिंग तो थिंकिंग से ही करनी पड़ेगी.
But this part of the world, yes.
इवन कोड को किस तरह से आपको ऑर्गेनाइज करना है वो भी नॉन थिंकिंग से होगा. I have written some very difficult codes and seen अगर आप इसको linearly सोचते रहेंगे तो फिर तो become a monster.
So many times I've seen is that once you are at the problem और कुछ सूझ नहीं रहा है, then you leave it, and then come next day, then automatically something will be there.
Something pops up.
Something pops up, and then something pops up, and then you think about it, and then you leave it, and slowly in few days a picture will emerge which will guide you कि इसको ऐसे करो.
Actually, I have found that when something pops up, at that moment, if you start to contemplate how did it come, that gives you this glimpse of that fact that
Things are happening.
things are happening. You're not doing it.
I remember जो 2 नावल लिखे थे, it just happened. I was writing for that's preparing कि भाई मैंने इतने काम किया इस पे, एनर्जी पे और ये सब अंडरस्टैंडिंग पे कि एनर्जी की रियल प्रॉब्लम वैल्यूज की है, so I should now write a manual of it. तो मैंने ठीक है शुरू कर. Collected material also, started collecting material. लेकिन यार इतनी सारी किताबें लिखी हैं, किसी को पता होता है कुछ फर्क कर रहा नहीं इससे, कुछ और तरह से सोचा है. Then I ended up writing that strange things happen. What I wrote there, I didn't know इसको मतलब भी हुआ कि नहीं. And then suddenly after 10 years I find a friend coming, a next student coming, मैं तो वहीं काम कर रहा हूँ.
कहाँ पर?
मैं उसमें 2095 में I just visualized things happening, and in that as late as that, and Uttarakhand has stopped and what's going to happen and things of that kind, what happens in the country and things. So I visualized about a village in Uttarakhand. तो अभी वो मनीष को मैंने बताया था, मैं गया था देहरादून. जब मैं गया तो रास्ते में एक गाँव आया भूतपुर. तो मैं जानता हूँ. कैसे जानते आप आए हो? आया था नहीं. जब मैंने थोड़ा शांति से ध्यान किया, मैंने शायद अपने नॉवल में इस गाँव का नाम भोजपुर लिखा है. तो मैं आया वापस तो उसने कहा आप देखना. हाँ बिल्कुल ही लिखा हुआ है. And I sent him that. कि उसकी प्लानिंग, and I presumed it, probably I had seen through the geographical area of that, और मैंने उसका वहाँ का वो मैप स्टडी किया था, क्या किया था, वो तो किया था. Somehow I selected that village, and it turns out that they are doing work in that village. Just no, that village के ऊपर ही काम कर रहे हैं. उस village के बगल में जो पहाड़ी है वहीं पे रह रहे हैं. And there they are working and trying to do something similar, trying to build a self-reliant society. This that करेंगे. उनको मैंने उनकी किताब भेजी थी, उसको फिर उसने पढ़ी. Then he circulated to his friends. ये क्या हो रहा है? Somebody has thought about your village already. So it's a strange world. You never know what's going on. Then I thought about this issue of corruption and wrote that novel. We thought about that there will be an agitation and this and that. And then agitation happened. And the movement happened and this and that happened. Interesting. But I visualized a more difficult situation. Maybe that also will happen someday.
What is I'm not at Google Night.
नहीं ये दूसरा है
वो मिल रही है
द मेज जो
मार्केट
है
में मिल
हाँ वो तो मतलब करनी पड़ती है ऑर्डर
कहाँ
फ्लिपकार्ट से फिर कई बार मिलती है कई बार नहीं तो वो जो जिसने पब्लिश किया ना वो जिसने पब्लिश किया वो भी हमारा एक स्टूडेंट ही है उसने भी को उसमें मैंने विजुलाइज किया था कि थिंग्स बिकम सो मच दैट a million people surround the parliament. Whole of the ring road people are surrounded. कि अब बाहर नहीं आएगा. Do what you like. So I hope it doesn't happen someday.
There are a million people living around it.
No, there are 10 million. दिल्ली में तो बहुत है. Just imagine if they one day decide सारी ring road लोग सारे चारों
तो इससे मुझे याद आता है कि दशहरे वाले दिन
करो नहीं करो तुम
दशहरे वाले दिन
कितना मारोगे
लोग बाहर आते हैं दशहरे वाले दिन दशहरा देखने रमेश के इतने लोग हैं दिल्ली में जो सड़कों पे आ गए तो लगता है कि रह रहे घरों में रहते हुए पता नहीं चलता कमाल
सवार 100 करोड़ लोग रह रहे हैं कुछ ऐसा बड़ी
on a different note on the education, do you think Arvind Kejriwal is wiser than last time?
I don't know. At the moment, I'm quite unhappy because Kiran Bedi is my personal friend. So let us see. I hope he'll be wiser.
So अपनी जो बीजेपी को बोलती है
We know her so well.
यहाँ से तो Vinny
यहाँ से हाँ
he's not doesn't seem to exude that sense of integrity and
I don't know, can't figure out. But he is worked in this area.
yes.
Lakshmi Nagar से तो जीता ही था against all odds last time. I don't know, of course. कल एग्जिट पोल पे हारेंगे
तो वो कहते हैं
वो उनको नमस्ते
तो आएगा नहीं तो इसने तो काम किया मनीष ने मैंने कहा तुम को आया कहाँ तो काम करके दिखाएगा
नहीं उसने लक्ष्मी नगर में तो बहुत काम किया पिछली बार जीता इसलिए सो थैंक यू सुधाकर हैज कम
Yes, Sudhakar and Sulesh.
After a long time.
So Sudhakar, how have you been? Seeing you after a long time. All well, I hope.
This is staying very busy.
Good, good. All the best.
With kids and college. Kids college.
Good.
Sudhakar and Sulesh, any questions before we close the session?
Any comments? Good. All the best. All the best. See you.
Okay, take care. Sulesh is saying no thanks, good discussion as always.
आपको चाहिए